Happy Saturday. Saturday's kind of an open play day. Looks like there's 5 people in here waiting. Good morning, you guys. So, yesterday we fooled around with the interferences and did a swipe. I don't know how many of you guys caught that. I need to get that. See that glow in that ring light there? I've got a ring light that keeps wanting to distract everybody. It looks like it's dry. Now, I'm putting my gloves on, so I'm looking down. When I was done, I called Kathleen McGee. Not sure she's in the room yet. Morning, everybody. Morning, morning, morning. And said, you know, the cells came out kind of small. Hi, everybody. I love Saturdays. Hi there, Judy. Fairy Art Mother is in the room, everybody. Fairy Art Mother's here. So yesterday, Judy, yeah, we played with the interferences. Now Judy really likes how dramatic it looks on black. And she's got a point. It is pretty dramatic over a color. Black does really make the interference pop. But so many people have done that, I feel like I want to do other colors. But here's something, hi Dee. Here's something that's been driving me crazy, and you're going to think I'm nuts, maybe. I even fooled with it just before I was cleaning out my table. So we've all seen those holographic films that are out there. It might be a cellophane that's used as packaging, or like I said, films. I forget what they're all used for, but in their normal use. Hi there, Audra. But I've seen people lay them in different layers of resin to simulate like an opal effect, okay? So I'm sitting here thinking, how can I take our interferences and create that, okay? Now, I want to do some tests on just clear resin and like brush the back of it and lay it in. And because you can take clear resin, like I think I mentioned it yesterday, pour a small amount, put shrink plastic, you know, the stretch film over the top of it, it pulls off and it creates this uneven texture. And then I've seen people brush interference over the top, right? And put a dark color on the back, and when you turn it over, it has this really cool opal reflection. Then I started thinking about, well, what about, it was my cats actually playing with one of the canvases here, and they were ripping off the plastic film that was on the canvas. Now, I'm not sure how much of this you guys can see. It's already sticking to it. But just before we started, and there's a lot more blue in the black back than there should be. But just before we started, a good way to make this very thing just last night, I took a tiny bit of Josonia varnish, took a popsicle stick and just kind of spread it everywhere. I did do a little finger painting. Now, some of this is going to come off because there's a lot of blue in the back. And I put some interference gold. You can see some of that gold in there. Let me see if I can put something flat behind it to hold this up to you guys. But we can't be distracted by the canvases ad. I just want this to be able to be sturdy enough to put up. So you can see the gold, right? I put some of the rain in there. I went kind of all in on the green. This is actually freesia. That's that color from the Dragonfly Wing Colors section set, which I am going to put on the Color Deals page. And then because this is transparent, I put just blue on the black, on the back. But you can see the blue coming from the front. All 4 colors are. The only one I didn't use was the red. It's feasible. This would be a really more reasonable way to lay this in your resin layers. And you can even put like a transparent color on top and this would show. Yeah, I'm gonna have to fool around with this on Tuesday on our resin play day. And I could do it today, but I've got the table set up to do more acrylic work, more swipe work. But I had to show you, I was just toying around with this before the event started. Today's event started, and I went, what could I do to take this a step further? Because I don't have to buy films. I've got all this free stuff. It's this canvas, by the way, that's sitting up here creating my backdrop. It's the back end of that that's got the torn plastic. Right? So I'm also, and I'm going to watch you guys' response here. I'm creating the ColorPlay deals page. And what we want to do is daily would be too hard, like 3 sets a week. But if I could put together a grouping of, let's say, I know for a fact last week we used some of that fresh ginger vivid intense, golden maple, maybe a couple colors of primary elements, and a single 2-ounce bottle of Prism Pour. I'm going to have to get permission from the lab to do it this way because they shrink wrap those 2-ounce bottles. But if we could put together a grouping of the highlighted product I used during the week, then people could go back and watch the replays and follow along with me. I think it's an interesting idea. Now, how we go after the interference is another thing, because almost every single video I'm going to use, let's see, somebody just said something. Good morning, all. Okay, good morning, sweetheart. The sorceress is in the room. Hi, Shannon. So the interference and those opal colors in quite a few of the metallics, I mean, the golden maple seems to be the go-to right now. I use that. Well, Michelle, you're the one that actually came up with, it was Michelle who just commented that say, how hard would it be to have a set done at the end of the event? And it's a little bit more work than you guys realize. Not that I can't create some kind of thing there and then just copy it, paste it, change the image and put what's in there. Once it gets built, it won't be that hard. Now, here's what I want to ask you guys about the interferences. I got 2 ways to go, and I think I'm going to do them both. I want to offer a special deal if you buy all 3 particulate sizes of the interference. So there'll be an interference fine, interference medium flake sparkle, interference large flake diamond, and do a grouping for all 3 of them. And then what if you would keep the interferences and opals separate, John? So really, you don't think someone's going to want to buy all 3 sets when they get started? Now the opals, I think the opals should be in their own little group. I agree. Then the other option would be some people gravitate just to certain colors, like they love gold or they love violet. And so, yeah, Jennifer said she bought all 3 sets. What I'm thinking is in this set package, make the interference the 60 ml jar. We don't sell that in a set. So we could do 5 60 mils of the ultra fine, because that's probably that's the strongest shift and you probably use the most of. And then the 30 ml jars of the sparkle, and then the 30 ml jars of the diamond. We'll put them at a price. Now, a good price for you guys. Now, I thought about this last night, coupon code, not coupon code. What they're going to be priced at is when you put the house code in at 20%, I want them to be right around $50. So you might not see everything used that week. I'm going to see if maybe there was colors I used twice in the week, you know, the highlighted colors of the week. You said you have some 2 and 3, because if you use the interferences and opals, just about every, I do. And then the 4 opals could be put in their own little group, right? Now, the other option, and I've never done this before, and yet I know the scrapping community was really big into this, to have color families. What if we did a good morning, honey? who just said Royal River Art, good morning. What if we did a violet interference, violet diamond, violet sparkle, and they were just their own little group, and that way somebody on a budget to just buy the violet grouping, and then when they come back, maybe they just want to buy the blue. And it wouldn't be that hard to put these little 5 of these little triple groups together. Someone just said yes. Okay. Color families. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do is I'll have the 5 color families with their 3 sizes, and then a package, but we'll make that interference the large jar, and then we'll do an opal group. Now that's always going to stay on that page. That'll just be a standard on the page. And there might be a primary element set that would be featured. Right now, I'm inclined to put the dragonfly wing up there. Okay, I think it would be awesome. Yeah, right now I owe you guys 4 groupings. We started around the 17th of, yeah, I'm gonna do it, sweetheart. I see you, Judy. Just, I haven't really slept in my bed in the last week. I keep falling asleep in my chair because there's all these things I want to do to move us forward. But yeah, and then the, for example, the dragonfly wing set, I used quite a few colors of them. I'm probably going to use them again today. Why not make that into the ColourArte deals? And there's just a special price on that one set. We leave it up for a month or so till people all get a chance to take advantage of it. You know, right now they're $81, you know, and it comes with that free bottle of medium. Maybe we do it at, it's $60, and if I take 12, I can't sell it for $48. I'll try to figure out the cheapest that I can give them away for. And that way you can get the dragonfly wings at a special deal. Now, eventually this page is also going to have things that we're going to be forced to discontinue. I'm being told that we need to cut down our primary element sets by 2/3. That's a lot. There's 15 sets. They're asking me to cut it down to 5. I know. Well, then you'll need to buy them. And then the actual individuals, I need to cut down. There's 314 colors. I probably need to eliminate 150. So my thought was, as we're thinking of what we're going to eliminate, why not let me work with them, have them go in as a special deal on that set of the week, 1 or 2 colors. They're featured, and John seems to like that idea. Thank you, John. We're just trying to figure out how to do this. As many of you probably know, 23 was probably the roughest year of business. It was for in our 25 years, and I know I'm not alone. I've talked to all kinds of companies out there, and it just was tough. There was a lot of uncertainty in the first part of the year. I'm seeing a lot more activity now, which gives me hope that things are moving in the right direction. And so what we'll do is just make our way through that library, start featuring colors. You get a chance to nab them as part of a featured set before you're gone, before they're gone. And if it's discontinued and we might only have 6 jars, there's going to be a number on there. Any feature them on videos of the, yeah, I agree, Michelle. Michelle just said if something we want to move, feature them. But then you're forcing me to come up with something creative immediately, thinking out of my box, right? I'm just the color creator and a wannabe artist. Okay, so I don't know, I may be conceding today on my issue of being an old school swiper. I don't like the idea of having my canvas flooded with a whole bunch of white that can suck that color down in. Here's a little fun fact, and a lot of people don't know. That ring light's distracting me. I'm going to sit in front of it. House paint, and I might have mentioned this in the very first video, house paint has that miking primary elements up in a series. Oh, Kathleen McGee, you're just too sweet. Where was I at with this? So, house paint in the United States is different than anywhere else in the world. We have gone through decades now, literally, I think we're in 3 decades of this whole home improvement idea. And I think probably the reason why I'm so resistant of using house paint for my base is because I know there's primers, fast drying agents, especially the eggshell style, the one you paint your just interior walls with, not the enamels you paint your bathroom or kitchen with. And they draw color down into the white. That's why you'll see some of these bloomers, they've learned, where they'll put their white pillow down and then they put a opaque solid color on the base before they start adding their pigments or interferences or anything that has translucency. I was first alerted by this by a woman complaining that her golden paint was being lost. And I said, well, what does the label say on it as far as opacity? And it was very translucent. And that's when Jen Neal, actually, she's this crazy chemist mind, said, well, you know everything that's in that. You know, they don't have that in France. They don't even have that in Canada, which is surprising because Canada's so close to us. So I think that's been my aversion, is I want to protect the color that I make. I don't want it lost. And I want you guys happy with your results. Also, in yesterday's video, I thought the cells were a little bit small. Most white house paints, I just saw a comment come across it. I didn't have a chance to read it. I am so sorry. Yeah, most of them have something in them. I mean, in my day, when I was a kid, Mom would pay the painter to come in, sand off all that old paint. They'd scrape it off. They put down a primer, and then they paint the wall, right? They didn't just go in and start like we do now. Everything's in that can. So, all right. So yesterday's swipe, I can't believe it's almost dry. This is the thing by not adding water to your paint mix. Harley, no, dude, he, for some reason, 2 days in a row, he's got this thing that he needs to be on camera with us. And it's just not gonna work, right? Sorry, buddy, you need to get out of here. He can't be on the table with me. So, yeah, that's been my aversion. So, okay, so yesterday's swipe. Now, Judy, you may love this because it came out really, really, really... Kathleen McGee kicked her house paint habit. Now, I will give you guys a tip, okay? If you go to the hardware department where they tint your paints, they've got the deep base, they've got, that's clear. They've got another one that's got brighteners in it. Now, how it works is they've got a white, one with brighteners, and one that's a deep base. The one with the white is designed for you to put in a few drops of yellow. They mix it up and you have this beautiful buttercup yellow for your wall. The brighteners is more for mid-tone colors. Like maybe you want a warm peach, right? Or a little bit color, a little bit more color on your wall. They'll use that middle can. Deep base is if they're going to actually mix black or deep red or dark blue. That white can, that white that they use to tint has nothing in it but just white enamel paint. It is a beautiful base. I don't have any here, but I am going today break all my rules. Normally I would paint the prism pour on the bottom and let it dry and swipe over that as I did my varnish piece for the last educational event, because we know the prism pour is smooth as glass, right? It dries as smooth as glass. That's actually what Saskia is using on those rocks in our educational videos. She's painting the rocks now with the prism pour, and it's got that beautiful seal, shiny seal, and then she does the blooms on top. Okay, so 2 things that happened yesterday, and I really think Fairy Art Mother's actually probably going to prefer this. She's not a big cell person, and I'm going to go all the way to the top, to the bottom. See how we got tiny little cellage Yeah, I agree. Using that white or anything that, because if you're using those bases, I'm just going to scroll this over while I'm talking. Now, see, you can see the gold, and this was that freesia mixed with the aurora, and this was the interference gold. Here was a little bit of that same color here. You can see that robin's egg. And I love as I was swishing back and forth with my paddle, see how we got a little green peeling over the top of the, this is going to be really pretty resined, right? And then we get down here to this golden color. That was the firefly, okay? These are those dragonfly wing colors, which are like an interference with just a touch of color in it. Now, this the Fairy Art Mother and I have talked a long time. Sometimes you don't want cells. Sometimes you want cells. But I want to make sure that if I want big, beautiful, wonky, gorgeous cells, I'm going to get them, right? Hey there, Pam. So I spoke to Kathleen McGee. Kathleen McGee in Oregon, where, by the way, I think it's -8. I can't believe it's so cold there. She told me to change my cell activator to a 4-to-1 instead of 3-to-1. And she asked Justin Selly, well-known artist out here on YouTube, beautiful artist, what his recipe was. And he swears by the 4-to-1, not the 3-to-1. And Kathleen said when she did it, she got fantastic cells. Okay. So some of this is going to seem like a repeat. I'll still do some interference colors. I do have 2 primary elements here, but I want to actually, where I left off last night is I wish that I had taken some of the metallic, some of this sun-kissed pink after it was done, and just kind of dribbled it along before I did the swipe and see what happens with adding the metallic to this. We're still trying to figure out what the metallics are going to do for us. You know, what are the best techniques? What are the different ways that people are using them? That bottle that I did yesterday, it dried completely bone dry. It's totally waterproof. And by the way, we got a very exciting comment yesterday on YouTube. There's a woman that's testing adding color to jessamite. That's a new texture to me. She said when she added the purely pigments to the jessamite, not only did it tint it beautifully, but it was the very first coloring system she's used in the jessamite that didn't stain or mold. I guess she's molding this in patterns. She told me, you can see the comments from yesterday. She rinsed the molds and keep rinsing, and the water's coming clear. She says this is the first time this has ever happened. And what it's proving is these are archival. That is why. Once it's set, it's set. Ooh, you mixed elderberry and heavy gel? Yeah, that I want so much the metallic show up. Somebody asked me yesterday that call because it may be interrupting our thingy. Normally I do this focus on my phone, but I didn't do it, so I apologize. Oh, we lost sound. Okay, so when the call comes in, you lose sound. Good to know. So this time, can you hear me now? We're all back? Okay. This time, I'm going to take a step further. Normally, like I said, if I use Prism Pour in the base, I let it dry because I know it's super slick and the paint's going to slide right over the top. But today, I don't know, I feel like taking a little bit more of a risk, which means we've got to mix up some paints, even mixing up the Prism Pour to be the base on this. Now, I have a big board and a little board. I think to do the test with this, I think I'll try it on the little board. I bought a whole bunch of these, by the way, when they were on sale. Frederick's Canvas makes these mixed media boards, and it's reasonable to be able to do tests on you. You can resin these and they won't warp, okay? So I also have Tammy Anderson, if I have some leftover paint, had done a video doing these cool little trinket boxes, right? And so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna paint the top of this with the frozen prism pour. It's probably gonna have to dry, and you know, I'll have to play with this off camera, but it's time for me to face down the bloom eventually, and then my nemesis, the Dutch pour. I never had luck with the Dutch pour, but I've seen so many people have success with it. At least I got my thing plugged in so I can blow some paint around in case I feel like blowing some paint around. So anyway, anyway, I'm gonna paint this with just the frozen, and if I have some leftover paint, we'll cover this up with this. You have a cheese box you wanna pour on? Yeah, and then these little things, oh, I gotta get the tape off. What's cool is, look at the pattern in that wood, right? I'm thinking I should stain this and then just put a resin top coat or some kind of varnish top coat so it's real beautiful, shimmery, warm brown, and then have some kind of pretty top on the top of it. Yeah, I bought about a dozen of these when they were on sale at Hobby Lobby. It's by a company called Woodpile, if that helps you guys. I bet you they're all discounted now. I bet you, I'll bet you, I'll bet you. All right, so what am I gonna do to thin down my prism pour? I know because I make it. I don't have to thin it down, guys. I know it. But the end user typically wants to extend their paint. When we made the prism pour, we put so much mica in these. There's a teaspoon per ounce. And there's no way you've ever seen me put a full teaspoon in 1 ounce of color when I'm mixing these. So I made these with the design that people would want to extend them. Okay, we need to extend our paint, we need to use them, but not giving up the color. No, not with water, John. No, 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 no. Water, I don't put water in the deep base. I wonder what the old bottle says, because it says to be careful of the Floetrol, and this may even say add a little water, but after playing with this, quite frankly, because this is the only paint in the world made in a deep base, it makes sense to extend it with more of my gel medium, 1 part gel medium to 4.5 to 5 parts of our Vivid Enamel, which basically is a deep base. Okay, so I'm not gonna measure the frozen, but we'll come close. I wanna cover this canvas. Yeah, Fairy Art Mother's in the room, guys. So this is a, I think this is a 14 by 14. So we have to mix quite a bit up if we're gonna cover the whole base with that. And I just had somebody ask me this morning, if my bottle sat for a long time, what do I do? And I told her I've taken the wooden end of my paintbrush to stir it up. I did look when we were releasing these online at some, sorry, you can't see. Oh God, that color's so pretty. Oh my God, John, look at that. Look at that color of the frozen. This is such a beautiful color. I'm in love with frozen. And since I'm gonna cover that whole canvas, I'm gonna do that as my base coat. Look at that, John. You've never played with the prism pour? Yeah. You know, this is stunning under resin. Now, if you mix these in resin, your working time is much shorter. You'll probably lose 10 or 15 minutes. Fairy Art Mother may be able to chime in on this, because I know Erica and Jeff tried to put the prism pour in the resin, but we don't know how much they added, and it seized up pretty quick, right? So you need to be, you know, careful of how much this you're actually going to put in epoxy, because it's got body to it. And the more body you have in your paint, I don't know. That's something we need to actually ask, believe it or not, Sheldon Briscoe. He is the expert at custom-made cell activators. He swears that he can take any paint, put it in a gel medium, and make it into a cell activator. I have not tried every single thing that he's mentioned. Oh, let me get my camera turned here so you can see those. So, okay, so let's think about what we're gonna do. I wanna extend this so it can be my base coat, right? So I'm gonna put almost equal amounts of what I see in there. And I have my little container. Let's get my bigger container of this, because we're going to end up having to pour this. Now this is 1 part heavy gel medium to 4.5, 5 parts of the vivid enamel in a very cold room. Luna's in the house. Okay. So I'm going to have to eyeball this. You know, I like to measure stuff, but I'm going to eyeball this. Okay, so that's probably close enough to saying I've doubled it. If I wanted it thinner, believe it or not, I'd be adding varnish to it. I don't want to add water. I love the fact that my piece right over there is dry in less than 24 hours. When you start adding water to the mixes, and you have to, and you're going to do a ring pour, and there's other techniques that require that, right? So that's quite lovely the way it is. It feels a little bit thick. I know the base coat's supposed to be the same as the other colors. When you're doing any kind of bloom or swipey technique, you want your stuff the same. But just to be safe, we're gonna add that's about a 1/2 teaspoon of varnish in there. I kind of topped that thing off twice. Okay, so that ought to give me enough consistency. It's still thick, but that's gonna, this is not necessarily gonna be a pillow. I'm gonna put this all over the entire canvas and try to swipe over this. I hope it works. Please, God, tell me this is gonna work. Okay. Now, yesterday we did a bunch of interferences. I'm going to do a couple. I don't need to do all 5 again. But I'm really loving what happened with this Freesia and the Aurora. This color right here, right? I love that color. So I'm going to try to remake that here as close as I can. And that was the right amount of paint yesterday. So the 1/4 teaspoon of varnish and the 2 paddles of color was the perfect amount of paint. It seems my paddles are all soaking, so we're gonna have to, I'll use this to spoon it in, and I'm gonna use this to stir it. So let's get our, now this is from the Dragonfly Wing collection. Those of you that are not familiar with Freesia, the Dragonfly Wing colors are, originally I called them a bling it because they had so much mica in them, and just a breath of color, just a breath of color in there, like I'm putting color on a sugar cube, right? And that was a heaping 1/8 of a teaspoon. Now the Aurora is what made it go real opaly. Another option is a color called Opalite. Now this is all 4 colors of our opal colors mixed together. Can you see that Opalite? I'm hoping the light picks that up. It's stunning. Now you can see all 4 colors of the rainbow. See them on the back of my hand. I think I might mix this up all on its own. I don't know. let's not take away the beauty of that. So I'm going to go with my original plan. A lot of people say, don't you know in advance what you're going to do? Actually, I kind of set the table up for an idea what I'm going to do, but while I'm sitting here with you guys, and I get super excited. Now, this is a heaping 1/16 of a teaspoon. These little spoons are fantastic, by the way. There's not enough room in my description to put them up there. I think I need to put a link somewhere on our ColorPlay page. These are $7.99 on Amazon. And I love these things. It goes all the way down to a 64th of a teaspoon. All right. So there is, wow, look at those two colors before they're mixed. Kind of interesting. Seeing what they look like. Okay. Let's make up some opalite. That I want to put a tint of color in that. So, yeah, lacquer or varnish, absolutely. I'm in love with doing varnish glazes. Totally, totally, totally. So let's show off the opalite. I got a heaping 1/8 by itself. But we need a color in there. Now I could go to my Purely Pigment collection here and add some of my pretty Lagoon. I want to put dancing fuchsia in everything, so believe me, it's taking everything I can. Yeah, decorative painting. I mixed the freesia is with the Aurora, sweetheart. This is the Aurora, the Blinged Aurora. Okay. So let's put, I hate these child safety locks, but at least they keep our products safe, right? I'm going to put 2, 3, 4 drops. Now, why didn't I use the pure color? Because I was afraid it would be too strong. Using the metallics, I'm going to get the color from that metallic, but because we're doing such a light swipe with a lot of interferences, I don't need it to come in super strong. Wow, look at that. I just, I get excited at the littlest things. What can I say, guys? Okay, let's put a couple heaping scoops. This is going to simulate me using my paddle. Yeah, that opalite's really interesting. We have yet to find out its possibilities. Possibilities. Did I put varnish in this? No, I did not. Okay, so I've got a turquoisey one, antique turquoisey, antique purple. I think either interference blue or green. Let's go with some green and go with green diamond. Actually, yesterday I played it safe. I did the green and green on green and blue on blue. This time, let's go with some blue diamond and interference green. Yes, that's something Mandy Roca would do. She likes to make her interference combos. By the way, I kind of changed the titles on them so you could see interference fine, interference sparkle, interference diamond. Make it easier for you guys to see that they're different particulate flakes, but they all have that interference coating. Now this is blue diamond. Yay, that's why who you love. Who do you love? Mandy. You love Mandy. I do get, I'm like a little kid. You put this stuff in here and I'm going to go gaga. Absolutely gaga. And that's probably why it's not a bad idea that this is my job to make this stuff. I can't seem to get enough of it. no matter how hard I try. I will say that I'm getting my ideas for each live based on comments you guys are making when I'm off screen, like yesterday, focusing on Sonia's question about, what do we do to get paint to stick on glass, right? All right, so here is our Aurora Freesia combo. Remember now, this looked really strange and gray and opal-y in the cup yesterday. But it didn't look too bad on my swipe at all. That's such a pretty color. And then this is the one that has just the interference green. I might need to make more of this. I think I'm going to make up more of this because I want just straight interference kind of back and forth. Let's do a little bit more of the green and that diamond blue. I feel like I need to double this one up, because I have to have enough to spread all over our piece. That's green diamond. I threw it back in the box. Where's the blue? This is the blue diamond. Yeah, as soon as I saw that, I thought, no, 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 no. It's not enough. By the way, I have a little bit here I dumped on my table. Oopsie. And we'll add some more of this. Yeah, I need a good interference mix that we're going to have a lot of to spread across this, because we're going to try. We'll have to see what happens when those metallics get dribbled in at the last minute, then it's swiped. Now the metallics are in a varnish blend base. So if I mix them in, I have my tiny cups in the other room, darn it. I have little itty bitty cups in the other room that I use on my lab table, but they're not here. I forgot to bring them in. They're like little 1/2 ounce cups, little 1 ounce cups, like what they give you your pills when you're in the hospital, like a little dosage cup. This is the one that has the opalite. Oh, God. Look at how dark. Remember I said I didn't want too much of the purely pigments in there? I can't believe how much that color picked up in there. Now I know it's going to look really strange until it dries. Wow, you just bought an entire set, Luna. I'm so stinking honored, sweetheart. Thank you. Now the opal, so you can only see it really close up in the camera. I wonder if I rub a little bit here. Of course, my hand has got stuff all over it. I wonder if I rub it here. That's not going to show up. I wonder if it'll show up on like white cardstock. So you can really see what we're doing here. I don't know if you can see that, all those different colors. There's 4 opal colors in that mix. And so it's going to dry. And I think the turquoise is out a little bit too namby-pamby. It's not as bright as I would like. I mean, I was surprised how strong just a couple drops was, because this is the metallics. These are not anywhere near as saturated as the pure colors are. Yeah, well, she does lots of dotting stuff, guys. And by the way, Luna, the stuff dries really, really fast. This stuff dries really fast. So just, let's see what happens. Add 3, 4 more drops. Just add a little bit more color to this. It sure looks pretty on top of that. See, that's what I want to look. I want to be able to put those drops on top of the paint and swipe that, because I'm loving what this looks like. But we'll see. Okay, we got I don't think we have quite enough paint for that canvas back there. I think we need one more interference. We did the green. We have a purple. We have this strange turquoise. Okay, guys, what color should we be doing? What color should we be doing? Maybe another one of the dragonfly wing colors? That would be interesting. Plum. Yeah, but we've already got a little bit of a violet-y plum thingy gonna happen here. And we've got a green thingy and a green to turquoise. We don't really have a gold. Or the, like that firefly brings in that, even though it's got a little pink in it, it brought in kind of that tan gold color. Just to be safe, I'm gonna make sure we have some, because I'm really worried we're gonna run out of paint. Magenta's not a bad idea. Here I'm trying to go light and delicate. As soon as we put that dancing fuchsia there, game over. What we're gonna do is put metallics on top. So the lower, gold, the colors beneath should be a little bit more neutral, because I'm gonna try to drizzle, and again, this is all experiment. We don't know what's gonna happen. I've not tried this. I've been dying to try it. But then, you know, I tell you guys, I'm going to try it live. I have a little bit of a spill here. I don't know what's in it, but I'm going to make sure it gets under the cup. Yeah, this is gold. And it's just to make sure we got enough paint. Just to make sure we got enough paint. My little tub over here is almost empty, so I'm digging into the bigger container of it. I'm gonna do 3 paddles of the gold. Last thing you want is for me to start this thing and then run out of paint. If we have extra, we have extra. But I'd rather have extra than not enough. Okay, let's get this gold mixed. I'm getting nervous. I've never actually done a wet prism pour base. I've not. This is going to take a lot longer to dry because there's basically going to be 2 layers of paint on it. It's kind of thick. God, that gold's pretty. We do have some of the prettiest gold out there, I gotta say. Okay, so they all look fairly the same consistency, nice and thick, right? So I'm going to sit these over here to the side. So that's my gold. That's my strange opalite color. This is the... All right. I do have my paddle like Priscilla Batzel uses. This has a little mark in it. I did not paint this. This is just a straight canvas out of the... packaging, and I use it many times to set bottles up when I'm going to shoot publicity shots of product. I've got Priscilla Batzel's. She uses this all the time, and she's doing these delicate landscapes with just the tip of the thing. And then Erica, oh my God, Erica from Artist Till Death is always doing such beautiful stuff with this. So I'll give you the name because I've got the name on one of them. Actually, this one's Artist Loft. This is an Artist Loft collage, 11 by 14. They got them in different sizes, and you're able to pour a lot of stuff on top of it, and it can withstand the 1 minus 30 before my order arrives. Ha! Ha! And oh, is it you? Wait a minute. You're the young lady. Wait a minute. You guys, whoever just talked, that's our Jessamite girl. Because I'd never heard of something called aqua resin before. And she talked about it in her post yesterday. Is that you? Are you our Jessamite girl? While I'm laying this down, if you get a chance to tell everybody what happened, what you did with the Jessamite, I think it's really interesting. And the fact that, okay, in theory, I should be able to just pour this whole thing out, right, and spread it. Am I right? Yeah, what is the aqua resin about, honey? I saw somebody comment about aqua resin. I don't know if it's, yeah, someone's talked about Jessamite. And they're using Purely Pigment, sweetheart. The girl that commented yesterday, if you look at yesterday's video, go through the comments. She is using Purely Pigments in the Jessamite and says the color does not come off, or it's not bleeding off for her, whatever. She was shocked. She said it was the first paint she used that had not happened with. I don't know if I want my side to be blue or not. I'm just making sure there's enough paint here all over this thing. This goes against my total green. This is the old school in me is going, why am I putting paint down? Because that's how people have progressed now with swipes. Swipes are more evolved than just laying it down and swiping it over, Leslie. Get with the program, at least try, right? Oh, wow, environmentally friendly powder. That's good to know. What's the deal with the molds, though? She was using some kind of mold, and she said she was shocked at the mold. No matter how many times she washed it, it came out crystal clear. She was shocked there was no color transfer from the mold. Does anybody know what that means? Or if she's in the room, please tell us. Why am I getting a little dingleberry? Something's not going smooth here. I want this smooth, right? I know I'm OCD. I'm going crazy over this. But since I can't pour this to get the perfect even amount and run it wet, like, you know, you see people do a flood coat and then they tilt it so the whole thing's covered. I'm trying to do this with a palette knife or this thingy. And you're adding color directly to the mold? I don't know. She was staining the Jessamite with it. But I am blown away. Now, it looks like I got a leftover paint to be able to do the top of my box if we have time, because I think I got enough paint on here to give me a base, okay? So then we're going to try to do it the new way. You mean I have to start working with paints like they do in 2023 and not keep getting stuck in the year 2017? We'll see. We'll see how much I like it. Let's cover up our frozen combo so I can use this on the top of the... All right. So I've only got 4 colors here. I don't know. See, this is when I want my syringe again. I still don't think I have enough paint. You think I have enough paint? I don't know. I feel like I need more gold paint. I'm nervous. Last thing you want me to do is to be mixing on camera. There's my insurance policy. I'm going to make a whole gang more of just this plain gold. I can always cover it up and have excess, but I am not going to run out of paint. There's a good hefty dollop, one more good hefty dollop. I'll put a splash of, another splash of my varnish in it, just so we're keeping the recipe pure. I mean, you can do this on the fly yourself when you realize you haven't made enough. Okay, so I got gold, green, turquoise, and this strange other color. So we got gold, we got green. I think I'm going to start with the gold. I know, decisions. And then, you know, do I screw it up doing this? I hope not. Last thing we want is to screw it up. The whole idea of laying the paint down. See, I'm going to transfer some blue if I do it like this. Wonder if I can take a piece of acetate and smooth it out. I have a lot of palette knives. What if I take a palette knife and just try to smooth that paint out a little bit there? There we go. Because it's transferring the blue into the gold as I'm putting this in. Oh, boy, if this turns out Bob Ross says happy accidents. Hello there. Welcome, Pam. So glad you made it back from Home Depot in time. Yeah, happy accidents. So I want to get this spread across. Because I don't have a spinner on this table. If I had a spinner on this table, it'd be a little bit easier, right? And all this paint is going down because we're going to swipe it. Okay, so there's some gold. Now remember, the blue has the varnish blend in there, so it will become part of the swipe decoration. It's not going to fall to the back like your normal white paint will. I'm just trying to skitter that gold across the top and not mix it in so much. Okay, so let's go in. Let's add some of this really crazy opal color. Yeah, I'm going to run out. That's all I've got is here. Remember, yesterday I was able to spread it a lot further on the raw canvas with this blue paint down. Again, I'm trying not to. Oops, you guys can't see what I'm doing. Sorry. Trying not to transfer this too much. I need the right receptacles. And no, Judy, I have not gone to my post office box to look at the small swipey thingy that you sent me. Judy sent me something to play with. What is that dark color? This one? This color? This is the Frisia mixed with the Aurora. I'm just grabbing clean sticks any way I can and trying to, there we go, skitter it all the way across. The thing that bothered me in my other swipe is I had this big starting white, and then I had this section that's all white paint. It's kind of, nah, I want to hand paint it up before I resin it. It's not as pretty as I'd like, right? So, all right, we have this green. Some interference green. And that's sparkle green. I knew I was going to need more paint. So I'm getting quiet here, guys, as I'm thinking what the heck to do to get myself in and out of this little situation that I'm in. I kind of want to just gently spread that green without disturbing the blue below. That's a little bit of a trick. I'll put that excess over here. I'm not going to waste a drop of this stuff. It's like liquid gold, right? Okay, so here's some more of the gold I had made. Good thing I made that big batch of gold up towards the end, because I still have plenty of gold in here. There's a little mound on the right side of this, if you're wondering what I'm doing. It looks like it needs to be spread just a little bit more. Okay. Let's see what happens if we spread some of this gold here. Getting a little bit better at this. Dropping down this thick paint. Yokes, guys. Yeah, I'm really curious about that whole cellophane thing. I mean, can we make our own, whether I do it with gel medium and I pop it off a silicone mold and color it top and bottom and then inlay it in something? Or whether we do it on the cellophane, which we know the cellophane's going to create some really great patterns laid in that resin. I mean, we're all kind of after the same thing. Get the most amazing results in our artwork and the most incredible light refraction. Oops, well, it looks like we're committing to the gold, more gold here, because I just had a big dribble drop. This is gold up here, so we'll put the rest of the gold up here with this gold color here. All right, now I have this, ooh, there's a little bit of green left. I have this really strange aqua color I made, which, so there's gold, gold, green in the middle. I'm going to try to do just one line of green down here with what I got left. And then a line of green down this other purple one. It'll make it real interesting where they mix. Remember, when you're working with mica, purple and green is not going to make mud, right? Because the mica is not going to turn muddy on you. You're just going to get a lot of different pops of color. Oh, is Sandy doing a video about the Jessamite? Oh, God, you guys. I'm so excited. I'll be tuning in. You make sure that you tell us, okay? Post it in our notes in the channel where you leave messages. And we need to go, I'll go watch. By the way, guys, we do have a review section on the website now. I asked Sandy if she could do a product review. There's a product review for Purely Pigments. It was originally just for the secret samples, but I changed the questions now. And there's a place to put a video of what you've done with it and show people what you can do. And I think it's really interesting if people can sit and share what are they doing with it. I mean, again, I made this stuff, the regular Purely Pigments, on the concept that we needed archival color for resin and then add the color back into our paint pouring pieces, right? Because we're losing that color when we're washing all the color out. The metallics, I just loved what they look like. I had to make them, but I haven't tested them yet. I don't know everything they can do. We're doing these tests live. Okay, this is that strange opalite that has that aqua in there. I'm just going to kind of run it over the open gaps. I think we're going to really have more respect for what this is doing, this particular color I'm laying down after it dries, because then the opalite's really going to pop. Oops, don't get messy. I'm going to turn this around. Learning some, what are you? God. Thank you, Sonia. As I'm sitting here babbling on, that it's, yeah, I do remember a lot of random facts when it comes to art, fine art. I guess I've been a chronic craftaholic my entire life. And then I started this company 28 years ago this year. And I just seem to retain random facts. Of course, I also do the same thing when it comes to health products. Somebody want to talk to me about coconut oil or virgin coconut oil or wheatgrass, I'll bend your ear. They just have this gift of remembering random facts. Doesn't necessarily mean I'm the greatest artist in the world, but I'm certainly willing to jump in and try and experiment with you guys. My art most of my life was watercolors. When we sold the Twinkling H2Os, our watercolor line, I loved painting with the watercolors. And then I would get them really thick, and because they turn into like this creamy paste in the pot. And I'd go to trade shows, stipple on these stamps from Fred Mullet, and people would be crowding around me, and I say 16 stampings, 17 stampings, 18 stampings, because the paint was so thick and creamy. This is kind of interesting what we got going on here. Okay, so color family wise, I don't see the Sunset Kiss being the metallic I want to dribble on. I would be willing to go back to the Fantasy Fuchsia because somebody had said add magenta. I think that's a great idea. But I got to figure out how I'm going to mix this stuff, because I just want to lay it in varnish and then dribble it along. Now this is where I would want my syringes. I'm looking right now because I actually brought syringes in here. Or let me take, and you know what I got? I got an extra eyedropper here. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm going to mix up the color, right? And I'm going to do, Sandy Sanders, you're the one playing with the Jessamite. I'm going to mix this with some varnish 50-50 so we extend it further. There's a lot of mica in this bottle. Imagine this is like having an entire jar of primary elements in a bottle. Even though the color base is different, it's still that much concentration. And because the base is so juicy, there's about almost 3 teaspoons of sparkle in these, which you would never put that much in an ounce. Okay, I know I'm wasting time here being nervous, guys. Sorry about that. So now the thing is the Dancing Fuchsia is gonna want to mix with the white Celev activator. I just want to warn you. If I use the cerulean blue, it would not happen. And I think maybe I can show you both. I'll do a little Fantasy Fuchsia or Dancing Fuchsia, then we'll do the cerulean blue, because this will be really pretty in here. And then, because the color base in this is the archival, it won't want to mix in anything. This is a completely different color base. It's unique only to itself. It's the hottest rhodamine violet I could find, but it has a tendency to want to mix with everything around it because it's so strong, right? So, really, truly, I should be measuring this so it's half and half. I don't really want to stain my, it's got a bubble in there. So that's half and half, right? Test it with Jessamite. Yeah, anything we can do to test, that'd be awesome. Let me rinse this off, guys. I have a little water receptacle back here. I got to get that pink out of there or it's going to taint the cerulean blue. I'm telling you, this stuff is strong. That's why everybody loves that hot rhodamine violet. It's super strong in color. Sorry, there's some acrylic on here. Whew. As soon as it hit the water, that varnish on there wanted to seize up. Okay, let's put a little varnish in the cerulean and let's get going with our swipe. This was that color that I kept testing the entire time everybody was going gaga over. Oops. Okay, Mandy, I can see you right now saying, there's this little thing I have to get out of my paint. I'm doing a Mandy Roca. I say that with all the love in the world, Mandy. I'm saying with all the love in the world. She is really meticulous about her work. I'm not going to measure it. I'm just going to squirt in what looks like about the same amount. Okay. Now let's hope this works. I need to get some more pipettes. Because if I just drizzle it on, it's not going to be controlled. And I know I have some pipettes around here somewhere here. So we're going to pull this mix up. This is my Dancing Fuchsia mixed with 50-50 varnish. All right, let's get it right here where I'm not trying to reach over and do this. We'll start top to bottom. And let's try a little vein of the Dancing Fuchsia. Let's put a little bit more here. I'm going right next to where that freesia was. Wow. This is going to go a long ways. This is only a 1/4 teaspoon of each. The color and the varnish. Look how far this is going. I might not even need that cerulean blue, but you know I'm going to use it. Wow, wow. I'm shocked how far this is going. Oh, sorry, you guys can't see this bottom section. I'm shocked how far it's going. It's going. Yeah, we know how much you love Pink's Princess Jasmina's mommy. I think that's the name of her dog, Jasmina. And I have Princess Jasmina. And I have Jasmine the cat. We've laughed about that before. Wow, that Dancing Fuchsia went really, really far. I really don't need to use the cerulean at all, but it's mixed up. Now there's some bubbles that probably need to be popped, but they'll pop as soon as I swipe over them, right? Okay. I don't know if I can rinse this out because it's got varnish in it too. I'm going to try. I rinsed this out in a little bit of water. It still looks a little bit stained, but because I'm in a hurry to get this thing finished because this thing's starting to dry up now. Let's add some cerulean blue here and there. That color that everybody seems to like. We're at 74 minutes already, and we still have... So while we're all sitting here, everybody, in 2 weeks is our educational event, and it starts on Saturday, 11 a.m. Question for you, because I'm inclined to come on and do my 9 a.m. live, like 9 to 10, and then come back for the event. Are you guys okay with actually coming on twice? Because the educational event's not just me. There's, I think, 6 more videos after me, right, that you would participate. Does that make too long of a day for me to keep my schedule, my Saturday schedule, and you guys still make it to the event? Yes, please do that. So it's still okay to do my Saturday morning deal live. Because I think consistency is going to be the most important part of this. That's why we're switching to Fridays. If you guys didn't notice what happened yesterday, I'm switching to Tuesday, Fridays, because Thursday morning, I'm always doing business with my employees. And 2 times now I've had to reschedule. And I just don't think that's sustainable. I don't want to have to reschedule for you guys. So, still would be here. Yeah, that means I'd be here a little bit before the event started. Let's make sure all this color is out. I still got a little tiny bit of it in here. I'm just going to pour all this out before we try to swipe. Now, my white cell activator has had some more Floetrol added to it based on some very sage advice by our girl Kathleen McGee. Let's get yesterday's swipe out of the way so I don't accidentally transfer over. Okay, I'm gonna go this direction. I've got my tool. I don't know. I'm doing this helps, but I'm scraping a lot of paint off. Today, I think I'm gonna try it this way. It's a little more risky, but I think I might get better coverage. Yeah, ask him. I don't know if he's done it yet. That guy tries everything. Oops, wrong base. That's not my cell activator. This is my white cell activator. Oops. I had a spoon in there and made a little mess. All right, let's make it so you can see what I'm doing here. So I'm going to put the cell activator on the back end this time, because here when I do this, only this much touches. He said he'll try it. Remind him it's a deep base. That's the only thing. Deep base isn't necessarily, because you're asking the cell activator to react to a paint that's got deep base and varnish. My humble opinion, the chemistry is too close to each other and it won't work. I just don't think you should. You can make something similar to a prism pour using your purely pigments and gel medium. See, chemistry-wise, I don't think it would be wise. Okay, I'm going to scoot this down like I did yesterday so I don't have to get up to do this. All right. Guys, the moment is here. And again, I'm just going to gently try to swipe this. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Do I like using that one end? I actually am more comfortable with the other end to swipe with. So I think I'm going to go back to my comfort zone. I am seeing some sellage in there. I must admit that purely pigment metallic is really strong. It may be dominating everything we're doing. That's the risk of putting this in here, but let's see. So I'm going to put it on this side this time, the side that I'm comfortable with. I'm going to have to get something better to do. It uses my swipe tool. And I'll flip it over right here. Let it make contact. Yeah, it's easier to drag with that thing. But there is a lot of color coming off. Let's see what's happening with that test color that's coming off. That is a lot of color coming off that thing. Now you know why I wanted to use the other side. I don't like that much paint coming off. I realize because we've got the prism pour below, there's more paint than normal, right? I still am liking the more passive. You got your Purely pigments. You got them today? Yay. Okay, so let's add a little bit more to this tip here. More white cell activator. Scooch this up. Well, that's a really interesting one. This is what I'm getting on my spoon here. That's a lot of paint coming off. I think that's because of the frozen. That's a lot of paint. Call me crazy, but I don't want to waste this. Be interesting to see how that dries. So I'm seeing some cells developing already. Yeah, a lot of people are getting their boxes in the last 24, 48 hours. They're arriving today. They arrived yesterday. I'm getting all kinds of thank you. It arrived. I can't wait to play. But then that young lady with the Jessamite kind of blew me away with her tests. Makes me so happy. Okay, final section. Making contact. Upside down. We skipped a little bit right here with some white. I'm going to be really curious to see how this thing dries, man. Because we got all that interference on there. And now this is a little too much cell activator. So I am inclined, I've just got this clean thing. I'm just going to take it and go one more time straight down the swipe. Get that excess cell activator off of there. I don't know how, oh, look at that gold and that pink. Oh, the cerulean blue is so pretty in there. Look, looky, looky, looky. Oh, God. Oh, whoa, whoa, look at the whites. There's white cells popping up inside of that cerulean. So this is going to take a little while to develop. I have a torch here. I don't know if the torching is going to help because this is a pretty thick paint. You don't want to cook the paint. I think I'm better off letting it naturally do its thing. I think it's going to be better for the paint, better for the project. Obviously, we're going to have to show this on Tuesday. Thanks, John, but I'll do one more close-up for you guys. If you look, you can see a little bit of the gold mixing with that rhodamine violet, and then it goes into this blue here. But you see the blue mica in the dancing fuchsia? And then we come up here and there's this interference green, and same thing. I'm seeing all this sparkle. That metallic is incredible in there. It really does look amazing. I cannot do light torching. I don't know, John, because it's such a thick paint. Remember, deep base isn't going to like heat. I think we're going to have to let it develop naturally. I'm just afraid that deep base is going to be cooked. And because it's a thick enamel. Let's see if I can get this everything topped off so I can turn the camera over and say hi to you guys. And get this on pick it up and fold this over. And that way it's on a clean surface and no paint's gonna transfer. So we're getting some interesting selling. And someone pointed out that it's really super thick. So even as I tilt it like this, chances are the color's really not going to run. Yeah, I'm not going to torch this, guys. I know everybody wants me to torch this, but I'm not going to torch it. I've seen paint get cooked. Thank you very much. I think we should let it develop naturally. And that's my humble opinion. If I had a small little thing to test the torch, that's just, and my torch, see if I can find it here. It's one of those big honking ones that you get at Home Depot to torch an entire piece. I got it for when I was doing resin work, so it's going to be a little bit hot. No, please don't. You might need space between, what did you say? Listen, guys, I appreciate everybody staying with me, hanging with me this time. Looks like Jasmine gave up on us because she's gone. Sorry, John. So I'm going to get working on the ColorPlay deals page. I should have some items up there today for the last few lives. And the Celebrate 23 is not visible on the website, but it still works. All lowercase, Celebrate 23, all one word, all lowercase. We'll give you 23% off. You still get that $25 mica gift with your purchase of the Purely Pigment Metallics, because now they're starting to arrive. I am taking that free gift off Monday night. Yeah, Monday night. I think it was Monday or Tuesday when it's going to fall off. So get them while you can. If you haven't gotten your Purely Pigments, get it while you can. Just January 27th, 28th. It's the Winter Dreams event. It starts here on Saturday at 11 a.m. Starts on Britta Clayton's channel on Sunday at 11 a.m. And someone's going to win a $400 shopping spree. Sherry, who is in this group, she was the very first winner of our $400 shopping spree. So she can attest to taking the time. You watch every video, submit your guess at the secret phrase, because each channel is going to give you a word or two. And it's a great way to win some prizes, see some great techniques. And you actually have 2 weeks, basically 2 weeks to watch it. You've got that Saturday and Sunday, and then it's not the next Friday, but it's the following Fridays. You've got 12 full days to watch all videos. I think we got 13 this time, right? And then the form is already up on the website. It says Winter Dreams, and you go in and put in your guess at the secret phrase. And once the event is over, we'll hook up next to every one of the affiliates' names a permanent link next to the video, so it's easier for you to go in and find them or do a replay as you want to. So I want to thank you for joining me this Saturday at ColorPlay Live. It's kind of become my little coined term here. And just remember, guys, take a little time to play with some color, you know, dig it out. It doesn't do us any good sitting in the shelf, walking by, petting it. I know I'm the most horrible person at that. I'll walk by and say, I own you. But it doesn't do me any good if I don't play with it. So we make a commitment to each other to start playing with a little bit more color. And thank you, guys. Love you bunches, and see you Tuesday. Bye.